Hi everyone, Dean Saunders here, CEO and founder of eCreators. Thanks for joining into another one of our videos. We're doing a lot more of these days. A lot of fun to let you know where we're up to, what our views are on what's happening in the EdTech community, and certainly what we're doing here on the mothership, being the eCreators head office, and some of the wonderful ideas and products and things that we're working on. So this year we embark on building an LXP. What's an LXP, you might ask? It's a sort of a new phrase being thrown around, I guess, the EdTech community. Essentially, the LXP is a learning experience platform. How does that differ from the LMS? Vastly, I guess, is probably the response that comes to mind with that. Obviously, we've been seeing LMS products for quite some time now. They've been fairly mainstream for really the last sort of 20 years, still heavily utilised across a range of organisations, but we're sort of taking that one step further in building a social collaboration tool of sorts. So what Facebook might be to your own personal friends network and what LinkedIn might be to your business network, we're creating an internal social network so people can share information really easily via a wall type format. They can conduct normal e-learning courses like they currently do with an LMS or other tools. One of the big discoveries we've made while doing our research across our customer base and certainly by talking to partner organisations is the loneliness epidemic, as we call it. 7 out of 10 respondents have reported that there's a degree of loneliness in the workplace. You know, with all these automated tools and your emails and your Slacks and comm tools, people can become very, very isolated straight away. So we've set upon a plan for ourselves, if you like, to fix that, to get them back together, get them talking in a format that they can all share. Obviously, we use these tools in our social lives and our business lives, but we don't really use them in our day-to-day work lives. So we wanted to create a network inside organisations where people can teach each other, learn from each other, post articles, share videos, play around in that sort of rich media space. We understand that all learning doesn't happen just through an e-learning course. Because you build an e-learning course doesn't necessarily mean you've solved a problem. You're just using one solution to provide a level of education. But as we all know, education is an ongoing thing. It's never ending. We talk of iterative learning, round and round like this. So we've created a multimodal approach within the platform to allow learners to communicate the way they want to. So they can easily call a colleague, they can easily post an article or a question on a social wall and get real-time answers. So it's not sort of going to a blog or a forum and posting your question and hoping you get an answer or waiting perhaps several days to get an answer. We wanted to make that a real instant thing and keep everybody involved in the conversation. So even those who may not have directly posted a question or a video can still draw down interesting content that makes a difference in the way they perform their day-to-day duties. One of the big things that we work with at eCreators is social inclusion. So one of the phrases we throw around the office is, that education is one of the biggest barriers to social inclusion. So we've been really focusing our efforts on those, let's call them neglected communities, if you like. So, providing access to a system, if you like, or a place where people can get advice on drug and alcohol counselling, or we can address the needs of Indigenous communities or long-term unemployed, or charities can reach a wider audience through using a more socialised approach to the way that they fundraise. So stepping out of just the workplace, if you like, so the place where we go 9 to 5 and spend a lot of our lives, we want to be able to give those people most at risk, multiple modes of being able to communicate with crisis centres and support services that they might be somewhat intimidated to approach in a lot of ways. Good examples of that are the homeless or people in immediate need. They can call, they can text, they can chat, they can approach anonymous mentors, all through the safe confines of the platform. So in the new product, we think we've definitely hit the nail on the head there and really addressed that need. More, there's lots more actually, so it's probably a good question. One of the things we're focusing on with the platform is the way content is built. Now, traditionally with content, it happens in a variety of streams. I mean, you see some bad content out there. We've certainly seen some bad content. Some of it's designed by a subject matter expert with rapid design tools like your Articulates and Captivates and these sort of things. Others go through a full development process, as it does here under this roof and between these walls. We use instructional designers, and we use graphic artists and animators, fine artists, testers and the like to make sure that we produce a quality result. One of the things that we determine by speaking to a lot of instructional designers though is the time that actually goes into putting all that together. If you've ever created an e-learning course, you know that you've spent hours sometimes finding that perfect image or finding that pertinent fact that you need to support the materials inside the course. It can take a long time. So one of the things that will be a part of the new LXP is to create an AI machine, and we're well down the track on doing this, that can scour the internet via credible sources and authoritative sources for good information based on the learning objectives you're trying to build in your course. I'm going to explain how that works in more depth and give you a bit of a demo in a later video. But what we aim to do is decrease the research time, if you like, for instructional designers to be able to build quality learning content and also quality assessments. And that's something we're really excited about. Another piece I wanted to talk about was our new mentor capability. So sometimes when you're at work, you may have consulted a colleague, you may have done a bit of your own Google research or searched sites that are meaningful to you where you might get answers to some of your questions. Sometimes, and especially on some of the projects we work on, the answers just don't exist because it might be a new piece of research you're doing, or it might be a new idea you've had where you can't readily find the information. Sometimes a lot of that information is actually stored in people's heads. So what we've done with the LXP is created a mentor block where you can actually connect with real people with real expertise who have this knowledge stored away in the backs of their minds. This gives you really a 360-degree approach to learning. So some of these mentors, for example, are anonymous. Some of these mentors charge a fee for their services. Some of them are pro bono. But what it gives you is access to a knowledge community like we've never seen before. So yes, do you have video conferencing? Yes, that's built in. Can you chat to a teammate? Yes, you can, via text or video. Can you learn from an e-learning course? Yes, you can. Can you use the AI bot to go and search for information to build the course for you? Yes, you can. And finally, can you connect with a global network of knowledge expertise, a whole knowledge economy, if you like, out there and find your answers? Yes, it's my view, if you can't find the answers somewhere within that ecosystem, you're not going to find them anywhere. Finally, I wanted to talk about our user group. So we've established a user group to help us with testing on the product. It's not testing in the traditional sense of what's broken and what's working or what needs improvement. It's more about the user experience. So we want people to give us feedback on can they find their way easily around the system. One of the reasons why we put all this functionality under one roof, we were sick of looking at platforms and going, okay, that platform has these core features, but it's really only useful if you put in this plugin and that plugin and that plugin. And one of the things that happens when you install a plugin to a piece of software is you instantly destroy the user experience. So all of a sudden you've got this pretty looking interface where you have a good logical view of where everything sits on a screen or deep within the application. And then you get thrown into another plugin, if you like, which has a completely different UI. The buttons are in different places. It's off-brand, it looks different. It's really confusing. So we want to make sure that we capture that overarching user experience right across the product at every level, every screen down. We want to use as limited plugins as possible. We're mainly working on integrations with some of those bigger applications, so your Salesforces, your HubSpots, your SAPs, Active Directory, those sorts of things. And that's more of a data exchange mechanism. But we want to make things really, really simple, and we'd love you to be a part of it. So if you're interested in joining our user group, we'd love you to sign up for it. We have a little link somewhere in the video. It may appear in my hands at some stage. I don't know, it'll be somewhere on screen. But please reach out to us and get involved in the testing and give us the feedback and help us to create this big new social learning platform. Hope to see more of you again in the future, and thanks so much for supporting eCreators and for being a part of our community, and good luck.